To get up on stage without rehearsing beforehand sounds like a nightmare. To speak without a script sounds like social suicide. However, the ability to naturally pick up from a fumbled line, or to work with nothing at all is a skill that anyone can develop. To develop this skill, look no further than your local improv troupe. Hi, my name is Patrick Vernon, and I'm proud to hold the presidency of the Severna Park High School improv troupe. Improv is a theatrical comedic art form based on the principle of working without a script. Performers use suggestions from the audience to create a truly unscripted and original scene. Improvisers use a plethora of skills to keep their scenes coherent and hopefully comedic. As Brad Sherwood said in an interview with the New York Film Academy, improv is like jumping out of a plane without a parachute and crocheting one on your way down to not die. To further this analogy, the skills improvisers use act as their crochet hooks. The skill known as yes and, it helps to develop a scene and establish the fantastical reality you've created. The yes part of yes and refers to agreeing with your scene partner and anything that they say. This helps to establish reality in a scene, what's real in a scene versus real life. This also, if someone were to say no, for instance, then the scene wouldn't make sense and the audience would be just as confused as the actors are. Another skill is pantomime, the process of pretending to have props. Imagine miming without sound. For instance, a frying pan would go sss. Pantomime can also help to establish the geography of a scene. For instance, if you're in a kitchen, you could open a refrigerator. You could open an oven. Or maybe a microwave. Perhaps there's an island behind you. All of these help the audience to know where exactly the improvisers are and where everything in their scene is. Improv in general is divided into two forms, long form and short form. Short form improv is more popular than long form. It lends itself more to comedy than it does to theater, and the types of games played usually give the actors more to work with. These games include classics such as Scenes from a Hat, in which the audience puts suggestions in a hat and improvisers act out the scenes for no longer than 10 seconds. As an example of this, we'll perform this now with my 3 audience members here. They're going to write scenes on these pieces of paper with this pencil, and we'll put them in a hat and mix them up. So what they're currently writing on these sheets of paper should fill in a blank of the world's worst blank. Most likely it's a profession, and so a profession on the sheet of paper, if you would. I'll mix them up in a hat, pick one at random, and act it out for you. Now, we're going to need a hat, of course, so, sir, would you mind if I borrow your hat?
This hat?
Yes, that hat. All right. 2 in. And this is being done live. I have no idea what they're writing down. 3 papers in. So we're going for the world's worst lawyer first. As an example, world's worst lawyer. Your Honor, I agree that my defendant is guilty. Simple as that. Moving on, world's worst, bad suggestion. Happens sometimes. World's worst farmer. Well, I keep running the tractor right over them with the wheels, but not the actual hoe attached. I don't know why they're not growing. It's simple as that. Moving on. Long-form improv revolves around the idea of creating a narrative. It lends itself more to theater than to comedy, though comedy is inevitable in improv. Despite the disbelief of the audience, entire plays have been improvised. How can this be improvisation, thought Sir Patrick Stewart after seeing the improvised Shakespeare company perform at the Lyric Opera benefit in Chicago? How can it be for the first time? This is too perfect, too clever, too intelligent, and too structured. Now, improv, just like with Patrick Stewart, has planted itself in pop culture, mostly through film and television. In the critically acclaimed film Anchorman, entire dialogues between characters were improvised, such as the famous I Love Lamp scene, as was revealed in a 92nd Street Y Talk with Steve Carell. In the pop culture phenomenon The Office, Steve Carell's character of Michael Scott attends improv meetings as a reference to Carell's career as an improviser. And airing on the CW, Whose Line Is It Anyway is a short-form improv TV show featuring a live audience. As of 2020, the ongoing show has 16 seasons. To wrap up, improv is a form of theater revolving around working with nothing. Its two forms use a specific set of skills. Those forms being short form, which lends itself more to comedy, and long form, which lends itself more to theater. As Jason Rohrer said of American theater, in his article, Improv Raises the Theatrical Bar, here might be the salvation the theater seeks. Here is the thing you cannot get anywhere in person. You cannot see it on any screen, you cannot rewind it, you cannot share it in a clip on social media. You can't even go back to read the script. Thank you for listening.